Welcome back to another Leagues 4 video, and today we're going to talk about one of the most outrageous setups I have ever seen in a league. And with all the relics and mechanics we've seen, that's honestly saying something. But today's setup, we're going to be talking about this massive door right here, the sBulwark. And I'm sure some of you have already seen all of the discussion and the debate behind the scenes, but I also know there are a ton of people that have absolutely no idea. But the whole preface of the setup is using the Dins as your main melee weapon while picking the Brawler's Resolve as your combat relic. And the reason this works is because some of the most recent changes they've made on the Dins, going back to the update on September of 2021, where a passive effect was added to the sBulwark when in the pummel combat style, and then the attack speed was also increased from 7 seconds down to 5. And if we scroll up here, you can see the passive effect is when in the pummel attack style, the player's strength bonus is increased based on the player's average defense bonus. So the tankier you are, the harder you hit. And when we compare that up with the Brawler's Resolve relic, which is not only going to take the Dins from a 5-tick weapon all the way down to a 2, but the big kicker that really shoots up the Dins' DPS is the fact that melee, ranged, and magic defense is increased by 50%. So the Dins becomes roughly 50% stronger, you have an added 50% on your accuracy, you have a 10% chance of dealing a critical strike, which would just basically double the damage of whatever you hit. And then on top of all of that, you're going to be attacking with an attack speed of 2. So you're going to be smacking the shit out of things with a door at the same attack speed as a blowpipe in the main game. But all of that doesn't even take into account how tanky you are on top of it. And obviously with it being Trailblazer, your setup is going to dramatically depend on what regions you are picking. This setup right here would be obtainable with the ZMK regions. And I'm not going to tell you this is the end-all be-all best setup because there has definitely been a ton of debate on what the actual best setup to use is. But this one specifically would give you the ability to hit somewhere in the upper 50s. While also benefiting from the set effect of the Justice Shear by taking a percentage of less damage. And that's all on top of just being criminally tanky against both melee and range. Both giving you the ability to out-DPS some of the best weapons in the game, while taking such little damage, not to mention if you did throw in something like a Amulet of Blood Fury, which you would have access to with these regions, the amount of content you could literally AFK while just continuously healing yourself would be disgusting. Obviously, there are still some drawbacks to actually choosing this strategy. First, to make this strategy any better than just a basic melee build, you will have to have a full built setup of just defensive gear. The more items you're missing, the worse your DPS comes out to be. And then the obvious and most important drawback of the entire thing is you do ultimately have to get a door drop, which even with the boosted drop rates will still take you probably anywhere between 20 to 30 hours if you do want to bank on actually getting this item specifically. Yeah, you could get lucky and pull it early, but banking your entire strategy for the league on it, you would have to take into account potentially going slightly dry. So not necessarily an easy strategy by any stretch of the imagination, but if pulled off, could potentially be one of the best setups in this entire league. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, consider dropping a like. It massively helps me out. And if you're around here often for this league's content, hit that subscribe button down below, and I will catch you guys later today with a new video.